this week I've got this fabric. I've got about half a yard of this one and about 1 yard of this one, and I'm going to do something with it. So this is the fabric I'm working with this time. I've got about half a yard of this one, and then this one I have about a yard of. I do have another cutting of this one too, so I probably have closer to like 1.25 yards of this one. This one is nice and see-through. We're going to just work with the basic rectangle and then make the neckline band from there. So take a measuring tape and measure all the way around your shoulders. And that will be, and divide that by 4, and that will be the width of your rectangle. And then decide how long you want it to be, and that will be the length. For the neckline, measure 1.5 inches back on the center back. And then take your neck measurement, so measuring around your neck, and divide that by 6 and measure over there, and then just connect those 2 dots with a curved line. Then you will measure out a 2.5 inch band. For the front, all you need to do is connect that point that is 1/6 of your neckline down to a point at the center front, about 15 inches down. You're going to make the final sleeve to be about half of the width of your whole jacket. So make it the whole length here, since it will be folded in half. And then decide how long you want your sleeve to be, and that will be the length. Then the last 2.5 inches will be the band at the end of the sleeves. And then the last piece is just going to be the band that goes around the bottom of the jacket. That should just be your measurement for your rectangle that you did around your shoulders, but just divide it by 2 instead of 4. So let me show you how I'm going to be making the band for this. So really, I'm going to be taking the band off of the center here. So let me show you now, so for the front, since I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to draw that in here. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but we're going to do the seam allowance on the other side. And now we want to do the same thing for the back neckline. So this is the sleeve, and then the sleeve band. That I'm going to line up with the shoulder, but we want to cut 2 of these, and then the sleeve band, we're going to cut 2 of those. So this is the front, and then this is the back with this, and then on the bottom of it all we will have the band. So now we have to cut out our pieces. Once your pieces are cut out, you first need to sew the shoulder seam. Then sew the front and back band together. Sew the band around the neckline of the jacket. Then you want to sew the front and back band facing together. Sew the band facing around the neckline, around the inner side of the band. Now let's get the sleeves ready. Sew the sleeve band to both of the sleeves. Then you'll sew on the sleeve facing. Line up the center of the sleeves with the shoulder seam of the jacket and then sew it in place with right sides together. Fold the jacket front and back together and sew up along the sides and sleeve seam. Now we need to add the bottom band the same way we did with all the other bands. First, sewing on the contrast fabric and then sewing on the facing. And now your jacket is finished. The hardest part was just making your pattern. I also added a little hook in the front to hold it closed in the center.